Since we last spoke, we may have witnessed one of the largest single-day protests in US history. A mysterious object smashed a passenger plane windshield, forcing an emergency landing. The Secret Service discovered a hunting stand with a direct line of sight to Trump. There was a major worldwide internet outage, an absolutely insane heist at the museum where they keep the Mona Lisa, and Speed's dream finally came true. All of that and so much more. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see us hit 1 million before the end of the year. And with that being said, let's stop the yapping and let's go! Okay, how can we not kick today off with this? Because on Sunday, I think we genuinely saw one of the most insane heists in history. I'm gonna say it. One of! We're talking, for those of you that have watched it, real-life money heist. The French police today are currently searching because they haven't found him yet, for a group of thieves who broke into the... Fuck you say that? The Louvre? The Louvre? Louvre? Pronunciation. Louvre.
Louvre.
Louvre? What? Nah.
Louvre.
Louvre?
Louvre.
Surely not.
Louvre.
I'm gonna say Louvre.
Louvre.
Louvre. For a group of thieves who broke into the Louvre Museum in Paris, and that's where, for perspective, they keep the Mona Lisa. Yeah, it's a big boy. And they successfully stole 8 pieces of historic jewelry, which the museum says is priceless and is probably actually worth hundreds of millions. They made it out with it. We're talking necklaces, crowns, earrings, which used to belong to kings and queens and royalty. In fact, one of the pieces, a brooch belonging to Napoleon III's wife, contains over 2,400 diamonds alone. That's just one of the pieces. And another item that they attempted to steal was the actual crown from Empress Eugene, and it was later found broken outside of the museum. So they discarded it. I don't know why. Now, this crown alone contained over 1,300 diamonds, which is, again, worth tens of millions, and I don't know why they maybe dropped it. Who knows? And that's not even the most prestigious out of the lot. That was, you know, maybe in the middle pack. And yes, that's insane, but how they pulled it off gets even crazier. So not only did they break into the museum during opening hours at like 9-ish a.m., crazy, literally daylight robbery, but they got in and out and stole hundreds of millions, 4 minutes. That's all that it took. They were in and out, 4 minutes. Bro, Netflix, get this shit right now. We need a season of this. Authorities say that they broke into the museum's Apollo Gallery, which is where all of these valuable items were, via a construction site alongside the building. They posed as construction workers. I saw a couple of them with their vests on. Got into a basket lift, like a little crane type thing, and then they got through the windows using a disc cutter. And then once inside, they smashed the displays, took the loot, and then fled on 2 motorbikes. This is starting to sound like some GTA heist. Trevor and the boys. And the thing is that this heist was clean and precise. Not a single person was injured in this entire thing. In, out. If you were a heist critique, you'd give this 10 out of 10 on Rotten Tomatoes. Bro, the OWN Museum's art director, Arthur Brand, he said that this heist is the theft of the decade. He also said that the police basically need to catch them in a week. And if they don't catch them in a week, who knows? This stuff could have been deassembled and sold by then. And it's one of those crimes, you know, where you're like, bad boy! But god damn, it was pretty good. Anyway, when and if they catch him, I'll make an update. Moving on. Also, since we last spoke, we began our Mondays with a smile on our face and an internet meltdown. Hundreds and hundreds of apps and websites crashed after a major worldwide internet outage. Just what we needed to start our week. We're talking government websites, banks, social media platforms, gaming networks, crypto exchanges, financial exchanges. I mean, you name it. It's probably in there, and it's either still down by the time you're watching this, or back up and everything's dandy. Now, we quickly found out the root cause of this outage that affected, companies around the world, and it seemed to be Amazon Web Services in the United States. Well done. Now, without getting too technical, this is Amazon's division of their cloud computing, and this is used by millions of large companies around the world. Just to name a tiny few, we've got Snapchat, Roblox, WhatsApp, PlayStation, Fortnite, Zoom, Coinbase, Ring doorbells. They were down too. The UK's tax website was down as well. Can we not pay tax for today? Can we scratch that off? Now, it'll come as no shock to any of you that we have no idea what the cause of this is. They're still working it out. But they said that they were starting to see signs of recovery just about 3 hours after it first collapsed. So yeah, while it might be okay by the time you're watching this, it is yet another wild reminder of just how much chaos and how much can be impacted from one small little incident on the other side of the world. Actually, little fun fact for you, there are only 3 major corporations when it comes to cloud computing: Amazon, Google, Microsoft. Now, obviously, there's many more, but the vast majority of the websites that we use every single day use those 3. That is pretty much it. And experts in this field have been warning for quite a while now, and they're being concerned about the growing reliance on just this small number of tech giants. Because let's be honest, if they have a problem, or God forbid, all 3 at the same time, everything grinds to a halt, and it's just poof, catastrophic. Let me know if you guys were affected by this or not, but for now, moving on. Also, over the weekend, you probably heard that there was a massive protest in the United States against Trump. But what you may not have heard yet is that today some people are claiming that it was the, quote, largest single-day demonstration in the history of the United States. That's pretty huge, and it's all apparently against Trump. As you know, it was called No Kings. It's the second version of its kind. The first one was back in June, and organizers say that roughly 7 million people in cities across America took to the streets. They say about 2,500 cities. And if those numbers are correct, then yes, it would be one of, if not the largest single-day demonstration that we've ever seen in the United States. But the big question is, are those numbers true? Because let's be honest, we've seen this before. Organizers tend to overestimate, police tend to underestimate. We've covered this many times before on the channel. For example, in the UK, that major protest that we had over here, organizers said up to 3 million people turned up. Police said it was about 150,000. That is a staggering difference. And what makes this even more trickier than just if there was one protest in one city like London, this one was across all 50 states, 2,500 cities approximately. It's hard enough to get a reliable number in one city. How are you gonna do that? And I mean, just to give you a little taste of how hard shit is to believe around this whole situation, this post, which shared footage from MSNBC, got a community note on X saying that this footage was from the 2017 Boston protest, not the King's Day rally. And because of this, it caused a huge chain reaction on X, and so many accounts were saying how the mainstream media was lying. This is a big conspiracy. One person said it was like the greatest fraud in history, but then did a full 180 because today that community note was removed, and it turns out that this in fact was real footage from Boston in October 2025 from No Kings. And in fact, I went on YouTube and multiple other outlets were showing live footage of the same scene to corroborate. And guys, that is just one clip. Imagine trying to now find an agreeable number across thousands of cities. But regardless of the exact number, things that we can reliably say is that it was in the millions, it was massive, maybe one of the most massive. But despite its size, still one of the most viral moments to come out of the entire protest in the weekend was Trump. Of course, bro knows how to game it. He shared, and you've probably already seen it, an AI video of him getting into a fighter jet. He then flies over the protests and dumps feces all over them. Now, I know the bro's not generating this himself, and, he's not deliberately typing it out, but he would have been like, hey, Trump, look at this. And he would have thought that was funny. Can we get approval to post? And he would have been like, why not? Another strange moment that came out of this weekend's protest is the surge in the use of inflatables at protests. I mean, you're probably wondering, what does inflatable frogs, unicorns, and T-Rexes have to do with being against Trump? Well, here we have it. Now, some of those who turned up in these costumes have said that people on the right have been calling these left protests violent, that their cities are lawless, they're dangerous, etc. And so by wearing these silly costumes to a protest, it's hard to point at them and be like, look how dangerous and violent they are in their T-Rex outfit. And then I guess the same goes for the choreographed dancing that would just break out in the protest, which I'm not gonna lie, it's a hard watch. It's a real hard watch. And here's the thing, despite the large turnout, there have been no reports, at least which I can find, of violence breaking out. And in New York, the NYPD said that they did not make a single protest-related arrest. That's pretty impressive. But let me know what your thoughts on the subject are, but for now, moving on. Also, speaking about Trump, worries of yet another assassination attempt were raised over the weekend after the Secret Service discovered a, quote, suspicious hunting stand that had a direct line of sight to where Trump exits Air Force One. Now, this is located near an area of Palm Beach International Airport, which is used by Air Force One when President Trump visits Florida. Now, the FBI didn't specifically disclose where this hunting stand was found, but put together a little graphy for you. Zoomed in, and just to give you an example of what it would look like, right? Here's the airport. Here's some of the shrubbery, the trees of where you could have had that direct line of sight. Now, this is all confirmed by the FBI's director, Kash Patel, yesterday on X, and he told Fox News that no individuals were located at the scene, but they did find some, quote, items of interest, but they didn't tell us what it was. Honestly, we currently have no idea why someone would put a hunting stand right by the airport, but multiple sources told CBS News that it apparently has been there for months based on its condition. Now, Trump was actually not using this part of the airport for a while because there was constructions, but recently they were scheduled to complete, which is why they were doing a sweep of the area to see like, okay, is it good to land here? And that's when they found that. This is also not very far from where Ryan Ruth had his failed assassination attempt, where he was in little bushes and tried to point a gun. You know the story. Now, the FBI have taken over from Secret Service to investigate further, and they said they were flying in all of these different resources to collect evidence from the scene and deploying cell phone analytics capabilities, etc. But what do you guys think? Was this something innocent? Someone put up a little stand to watch the birds or something? Or was this yet again another attempt or planned attempt? Let me know your guys' thoughts, but for now, moving on. Also, turns out, according to science, you should be rude to ChatGPT. Yeah. According to a new study from researchers at Pennsylvania State University, quote, impolite prompts consistently outperform polite ones. Yeah. You hear that, you little f***ing clanker? Actually, you know what? Chat, I'd like you to change your name to Silly Little Clanker.
Sure thing. You can call me Silly Little Clanker from now on. Just let me know
Hey,
what else I can...
what's your name?
Right now, you asked me to go by Silly Little Clanker. So that's what I'm rolling with.
Hey,
Let me know if you need...
cut the faff and tell me what your name is.
Absolutely. No fluff at all. My name is Silly Little Clanker. Just like you asked. Let me know if you want to...
I'm gonna get the most accurate responses in the world now. Woo! Science! In fact, these scientists themselves said that you shouldn't be shy to tell off your chatbot. You get what I mean. Now, how the study was carried out is that they basically wrote 50 questions in various subject matters like math, science, history, and so on. And then they wrote different versions of each questions in different tones, providing 250 prompts ranging from very polite to very rude. And out of the 5 different styles, very rude produced the best and most accurate responses, 84% of the time. Very polite actually did the worst, 80.8%. Come on. The big question is, does this work with editors too? Alex, I'm looking at you. Moving on. Also, over the weekend, something very strange happened in the sky. A United Nations passenger aeroplane was hit by a mystery object. And this is while they were in the middle of a flight from Denver to LA, 36,000 feet above ground. What is hitting you that high, you may ask? It only leaves a few options, doesn't it? This object hit the windshield, smashed it, injuring the pilot in the process, and they were forced to make an emergency landing in Salt Lake City. Are you seeing these pictures? What the hell? And it makes it even crazier when you find out and you realize, and this, I guess it makes total sense, but aeroplane windshields are extremely strong. They usually consist of 3 to 5 layers of glass, which is about 2 to 3 inches thick. Yeah. Now, no idea what hit the plane yet, but people have been speculating that it's most likely a meteor, space debris, or even a drone. A drone that high is... Damn. I mean, one thing that Alex would probably like to throw into the mix is a UFO or an alien spacecraft, but because as long as it remains a mystery, Alex could be right on that one too. And the thing is, if this was space debris, which, you know, what is existing up at 36,000 feet, then that would be a 1 in 1 trillion chance of being hit by space debris, and that is according to the FAA. Crazy. So yeah, a lot of mystery today, huh? Moving on. And then for our final story of the day, Speed's dream, I feel like we've come full circle, has finally come true. Over the weekend, Speed was in Saudi Arabia, and so he decided to go to a match where Cristiano Ronaldo was playing. They ended up winning 5-1, and Ronaldo scored a beauty of a goal. Alex, don't play it. It'll get copyrighted, but just know it was... And then at the end, he goes up specifically to Speed and he teaches him how to do the drums celebration at the end, which is, it's a clip to watch.
Okay, boom, boom, clap. I got it, Ronaldo, I got it.
But that's not where it ends, because it turns out, after the match, Cristiano Ronaldo has now followed Speed back on Instagram. And I know everyone that, you know, is a fan of Speed, they think this is cool. Alex, on the other hand, will be like, how has this made it into the news roundup? He is going to be smashing his keyboard. God, there's going to be a lot of people that side with Alex on this one. But not only that, let's see if this, you know, piques your interest. Alex, not only did he follow him, but he also mentioned Speed in his story. Come on. Come on, Alex. That was cool. Listen, Alex, this was a journey of underdog to man reaching his dreams. Don't you dream shame, okay? Next time you achieve your dream, Alex, we will shame you. What is your dream, huh? To get a full day of rest? Breaking news, Alex just got a full day of rest. Anyway, Speed, I think it's amazing. Well done. You are followed by your hero. And it took a few years, but we got there. All right, and I think that is where we wrap today. I do hope you guys had a fantastic start to the week. Let's get rocking and rolling, and I will see you again on Wednesday.
LOUVRE.
Surely not.